Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my vacation makeup. Now I am not a light packer. I like to give myself a bit of variety to choose from because actually holidays for me are all about enjoying putting makeup on. So if that sounds good to you, then watch on. On to foundations and tinted moisturisers. Now honestly, up until probably 4 weeks ago, this would have looked very different, but everything has been blown out of the water by Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. I had to read that, I'm sorry. For face and eyes, you can put it underneath your eyes. I have got, it's not so much my skin sensitive, but it is eczematic and it is very dry. And this is perfection, not for a long time. I mean a really long time, probably like 20 years or more, have I thought about a product in a way that I kind of feel that it would be sorely missed if something happened and they stopped making it. This is one such product. I took this away with me on a long weekend to France. It was hot as it was in the UK, so it was kind of like early 30s. In the evenings it was quite muggy. Now I'm not somebody who particularly feels the heat unless it starts to hit sort of over 40, or if I'm in a very hot room that's kind of airless. So I can't say I'm a particularly kind of, you know, sweaty person at that kind of level. However, I still get a bit shiny on my T-zone. This is absolute perfect. I can't even begin to describe to you how good this product is. I am blown away. So I don't feel I need a tinted moisturiser. I don't feel I need a tinted moisturiser with an SPF because I put my SPF on and then I put this straight on top and I'm done. No powder, no stickiness, no silly sweaty kind of patches that maybe sort of are a bit uneven. Just fantastic. The only thing that I would say, and this is user error, is because I have been using my fingers, which is basically the way Danessa tells us to use it. Initially I was using a brush, but actually using your fingers is actually the best way of doing it. Because I'm not used to using my fingers, for the first couple of days I was kind of omitting putting it on my nose, and so my nose was shiny and I was kind of looking at it going, well, what's going on? User error. What was going on was I hadn't put the product on the nose, and that's quite crucial for it to work. So all I would say to you is if you're somebody like me who's not used to using your fingers, you need to kind of concentrate, and I was not concentrating necessarily. But when I concentrate, as I am now, you know, or this morning, sorry, it's quite late now that I'm filming, and I put this on 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's fine. You can see my nose. It's very hot. I'm in a hot room, actually. I have had the air conditioning on, but it is still hot because I've had to turn the air conditioning off because it's so noisy. This is wonderful. Please give it a go if you're worried about oil control, particularly. And if you're not, and you're dry like me and you've just got a bit of a T-zone going on, this is fantastic. So I'm taking this away with me. I don't need a brush for this particular product. Fingers is absolutely fine. So as a result, because I'm not really a fingers person, I am taking some baby wipes with me, just to let you know that's how I'm going to function. The only other complexion product I'm going to take is the Charlotte Tilbury Sheer Glow Tint. I really like this. It's got a lovely gentle glow, and probably just for having breakfast or something, I'm just going to put this on. It's just a lovely glow. It's not shiny, it's just lovely and so easy to use. Stick formula. I am number 8 medium in this. It's just lovely. I'm just reminding you in case you've it just sort of goes on really easily. Again, with your fingers, you can just put it on. Typically, I do use a brush. I mean, I'm much more of a brush person than I am a fingers person. But Danessa Myricks' product is worth the exception, frankly, and worth a baby wipe. But this is great. So these are the two I'm going to take. I don't need anything else. I literally don't need any powder or a primer. I don't need anything. This does it all. And this, for just a very light makeup, is fantastic. So I feel really confident I've got all bases covered simply because this did so well in city heat. So it can definitely cope with a seaside heat, as it were. In terms of concealer, I'm going to take my 3N in the Estée Lauder concealer, and in case my eyes go red sort of underneath, which sometimes happens if my skin gets very sensitive and very itchy, sometimes hay fever can set it off, I am going to take my Kosas corrector, which I know is very light, but this combination works really well. I do also have the Kosas concealer, but I'm not taking that with me simply because this is self-setting. So again, I don't need to take any powder. I'm pretty much done. I don't travel light, as I keep saying. And for the sake of a few extra products, you know, I'll sacrifice a caftan or two. I think I'll cope. On to eyeshadows. Now, there's quite a lot to say for eyeshadows because I really am an eyeshadow lover. And on holiday, I like to have the option of kind of choosing as opposed to feeling constrained. I want to be in control. I want to have the power. And honestly, I don't see it as a waste if I come back not having used a palette or two, because it's all about choice. It's all about the buffet. I want a big buffet. And if at the end of the day I'm just going to have a salad and I've left the curry over there and the fajitas and whatever, that's okay. It's still my choice. So let me show you what I'm taking. So I'm taking liquid eyeshadows as well as powder eyeshadow palettes. Lisa Eldridge for me is the absolute queen of liquid eyeshadows, more than Armani and even more than RMS as well. I like to wear her liquid eyeshadow in Phoebe, which is just a really nice kind of just, you know, evens out my skin tone, and I use this as a base. But I am also a huge fan of her liquid Lurex eyeshadows. Are they called liquid Lurex? Yes, I think they are. So Emily is the one that I have worn the most, but I have just taken out of the box an Ace, which I bought and still hadn't used. So I am looking forward to using that. Let me just show you Emily and an Ace next to each other. Now, Anais, I think, is a little, it's a little bit more sort of greeny. It's kind of like a metallic, mossy green. I wonder if you can see those. Yeah, you can. So that is Emily, which is a kind of, it's a kind of taupey, metallic taupey. And then above you can see Anais, and that's like more of a sort of a metallic moss kind of colour. Really easy to wear. I just sort of put a little bit on my eyelid and then just dab it on. I mean, they're just really easy, and they last and last and last. And also on my older eyelids, which are crepey and are dry, no problem at all. These are the most forgiving products. I just absolutely love them. The reason why I'm taking these along with my palettes is that if my eyes are a bit sensitive, or if they've just, it's not so much sunburn, but if I'm just kind of if I kind of feel my skin's a bit worn out, which can just happen. It's just, you know, it's not sun, it's not anything, it just happens. I know these work really well, even when my eyelids are really dry, and I'll still be able to do a nice kind of polished makeup that will sort of, you know, that will last a long time. And I just want to say, they're teeny tiny. They're no effort at all. So definitely taking these. Now, along with those, I'm also taking, as I said, some eyeshadow palettes. Now, what I should say is I am going to take a setting spray, which has been a recent kind of love for me. Now, it's not a setting spray that I use all over my face, more of that later. It's a setting spray that I will only use for some particularly shimmery eyeshadow to give it a little bit more longevity. And to that end, I have been using this. Now, I think I've used this before as a sort of an all-over setting spray, but I think what it was is my skin was good enough and I was a lot younger and it didn't really do very much. However, now I'm older and not wiser at all. This is fantastic. I've got this in the really little size. This is the All Nighter by Urban Decay, and on a flat brush, it's absolutely fantastic for shimmery eyeshadow. Lasts all day, lovely and smooth, and doesn't itch my eyelids. Doesn't go weird on my eyelids and somehow make them a bit tighter. I've always been so wedded to the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, but I have to say, for eyeshadow, I believe, for me anyway, this is superior. So I'm definitely taking this little baby with me. And actually, if you see it compared to the Lisa Eldridge, can you see how small it is? It's no effort at all. Not that I'm worried about, you know, how much my makeup weighs, because that is the priority. Anyway, that's coming along with me. Now, in terms of eyeshadows, what I should say to you is this morning, before I even thought I was going to film this video today, I wore for the first time actually in absolutely ages one of the new Morphe palettes in Outer Space. So it looks like this. And I've still got it on, as you can see. For the shimmer shades, I did use this. You know what? I'd forgotten how lovely this palette is. And also, I just want to remind you, it's £16. It's astounding value for the quality as well. And you still get a mirror and a really nice compact. So even though this wasn't going to come with me, it's now coming along because I've just remembered how lovely it is. The one of these that I've been wearing a lot and really enjoyed is the one called Rich Glitch, which is a much cooler toned palette. So I've kind of got, you know, sidetracked with that. But this warmer, slightly more pinky, more browny compact, I am definitely going to take that with me because, as I said, the quality is fantastic and the shades are really good and it's small and it's got a mirror. So, you know, I think I've probably got that covered. However, I am also most definitely going to take Charlotte Tilbury's Denim Dimensions. I love this palette. This palette is kind of everything, and I've been surprised quite how much I've used it. And this is one of the things, I'm not somebody who likes to say, oh, I got a compliment, because basically I'm not getting compliments. I'm not going through my day and people are kind of stopping me in the street and kind of falling down prostrate. That tends not to happen to me. However, the few times somebody comments, it's more often than not this that I'm wearing, and it's just got everything. It really has. I just want to say also for brown eyes, how flattering, I'm just reminding you how flattering blue is. I know lots of there are lots of other eyeshadows that anyone can wear, but I'm just saying this is particularly flattering on brown eyes. And also, I just want to say that the mattes in this are fantastic. They're so long lasting, they're so velvety, truly, truly velvety, and they blend like a dream. Everything in this palette blends like a dream. Just an absolute delight. This lovely sort of whitey colour, I wonder if you can see it. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. It's got this lovely sort of sheen to it, but it's not chunky, and it blends like a dream. It's just an absolute delight. This is wonderful. I mean, honestly, in terms of these beautifying eye trend palettes, I think they're all winners. Honestly, I just think it's a question of just pick the colour you like and pick the shades you like and go for that. But this and the green and the emerald effect is probably the one I've worn the most. But honestly, for holiday, this with a caftan, oh, I just have to go and buy a caftan now. I've mentioned it twice, but I'm just saying they're really, really good. Then I have got count them, three Natasha Denona palettes. Now, this is the Glam Face palette in Light. Remember these? Oh, so good. These are perfection. They really are. The dark one is good as well, but this is the one that I probably wear the most. Lovely, easy sort of browns. I even like this cream blush, which I've heard people complain about. They didn't like it. But I like it. I find it very soft, very easy. The highlighter you can see from the moon, and it's probably a bit much for me, if I'm honest. Although that probably hasn't stopped me using it, but it's not my absolute favourite because it's just that little bit too disco for me. However, all of these eyeshadows are an absolute delight. Blend like a dream, and it's just really easy. It's just easy to have on the dressing table, just to have out, and then know I can put my makeup on. I've got everything there. There's not much more I need to add, and then I can just sort of put it away in the big lock and lock that everything kind of sits in, all my makeup sits in, so it's kind of wedged really tightly so nothing can break. I know it's not very glamorous, but it works. In terms of the other two palettes, unusually, I suppose, I am going to take the Yucca palette away with me. I love greens in general, but also the shimmers in this are just lovely for one and done. So let me just show you these shimmers. They're just fabulous. I just want to remind you, in a funny sort of way, I think the Yucca palette just doesn't get the love I feel that it should. And I say that for myself as well. It's lovely when I use it, I'm excited, and then I kind of forget about it. And I don't know why, because I shouldn't, because even these, as I said to you, as one and dones, with a little bit of a sort of a medium brown, in the crease. Just fantastic, and really, really lovely mattes. Just so good. So this is coming with me, not least because I've got a lot of greeny sort of dresses, so it will go really well with that. And then finally, another palette that I've heard people sort of be a bit critical of it, and I really love it. This is the bronze palette. Now there is one shade that I'm absolutely bananas over, and it is called Bliss. It's this shade here. You can see how much I've used it. Let me show you. It's just delightful. You see that? It's lovely, and it's got a goldy peachy shift to it, which again I really love. Again, as a one and done. So easy, so forgiving, lasts all day. What's not to like? Honestly, I'm just, you know, I know, you are probably sitting there thinking, why does she need to take all these enormous palettes? And the truth is that I just have my favourites, and holiday is a time when I can just sit and enjoy putting some makeup on without the phone ringing, because there's probably no connection, and it's just a delight. So that for me is a plus. The other thing I just want to say about these is there are some really usable mattes which are great for eyeliner. Now I am taking just a couple of, well actually I'm taking 3 eyeliners, I'm lying already, in case you judge me. I'm taking 3 eyeliners, but in terms of just using a thin brush to kind of line and do a little flick, this has got a really, really good selection. I just really love this palette. Actually, the thing about Natasha Denona is while sometimes there's a few shades that I'm not bonkers on, I just think overall she gets way more dead right and thrillingly right than most, so she's always worth it. So here are the eyeliners I'm taking. I'm taking 2 of the YSL Lines Liberated because I find these really easy, you know, a bronze and a brown shade. I mean, you can see they're quite short, but these are like, this I think is my 2nd or my 3rd of each. And out of the Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Coal liners, I'm only going to take the blue, which I think is called Sapphire Nights, I think it is. Yes, it's called Sapphire Nights. Such a great blue. And I like to wear this in my waterline and pretend I'm a Bollywood star, but I do like it. It lasts and lasts and lasts. It doesn't kind of fade, seems to cope with my watery eyes, and it's just lovely. Lovely and soft and no irritation. So that is coming with me. Now, I should also say that I'm bringing my eyelash curlers. Why not? These are the Kevyn Aucoin ones. I've got the Kevyn Aucoin ones, and I think I've got Refa ones, and I've got Shiseido ones as well. But I think these have got the edge on the other 2. It's just a little bit more spongy, a little bit softer, I feel. So these are coming with me. 2 products I should have told you about before I launched into the eyeshadows. One is the Shapewear brush by Charlotte Tilbury, which is dual-ended and really, really easy to use for a complete contouring beginner. And my latest contour stick love, because I'm very new to contouring, as you may or may not know, is the Victoria Beckham contour stick, and I use the shade Marble. It's nice and thin. It's, you know, it's like it looks like a eyeshadow stick, and it's a really nice, let me show you, it's a really nice sort of milky chocolate shade. It's not grey, it's not cool, it's warm but not too warm, and super easy to use. I put a little bit on my cheeks, and then in terms of contouring my nose, I actually I put the brush on it and sort of brush it on there and do it that way. I just find it really easy. This is a really good product, probably pricier than I'd like, but it is a really good product, and I'm taking them and I'll be wearing them every day because this is the product actually that has made me, in terms of the Victoria Beckham, this is the product that's made me much more confident with contouring, and actually this tool makes a really big difference if you're a beginner. So I have found this kind of invaluable on my contouring quest, really. In terms of mascaras, I am taking 3. I know it's excessive, but it's not really. I'm taking my wonderful Givenchy Interdit mascara, which is a tubing mascara. It's black. I'm wearing it at the moment. It's just lovely. It lasts. It doesn't flake. Nothing weird happens. It's not clumpy. It's just an absolute delight, and it comes off really easily at the end of the day. In terms of brown mascaras, I'm taking two. I am taking the Better Than Sex in brown, which I really like. I've said this before, this is a bit like a Lancome mascara. I mean, it's got that quality. It's got the brush. It's got it's like the old style Kerassil brush that, you know, Lancome had. It's lovely and thickening, lengthening. It's just lovely. It's an absolute delight. Doesn't flake, doesn't do anything weird, comes off nicely. And I'm also going to take the Lisa Eldridge in Burnt Umber. I'll tell you why. I like this shade, but also for sightseeing or if it's a particularly damp day, this does not run or flake or do anything at all. It's water resistant and it really, really works. It's so good. It's just brilliant. And it comes in black, it comes in the Burnt Umber. I love the Burnt Umber, and I can also use it on my lower lids when I use the Givenchy on my upper lashes, because this has got a sort of a thinner brush, so it's easier to get into the little lashes, much more so than using the Better Than Sex. So these are the three that I'm going to take with me. Now, I should also say, in terms of an eyebrow pencil, I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil, which I really, really like. It's got the spoolie at the other end, and I find it just easy, and it doesn't fade. It just goes through the day, and my eyebrows still look full and lovely by the end of the day. So that means a lot to me, because not all eyebrow pencils do that. Now, on to cheek products. As I mentioned, I was away in France for a weekend, and I took the NARS Hot Escape Cheek Palette number 2 with me. Now, I was excited about this. There's only one shade out of the 4 that I didn't think I would use, and that's the highlighter, which is just a little bit too much for me, a bit like the Natasha Denona in the palette. It's just these days, it's just too much, given that I have kind of moved on to a different highlighter, more of that later. So this is what it looks like. Now, here's the thing. I thought this was going to be a winner for me. 3 out of 4 is not bad. It's fine. I thought I would use these. I did use it, but do you know what? Every time I used it, I thought, why didn't I bring my Hourglass palette, my £6 Hourglass palette, which is over 2 years old and feels like I bought it in 1492. I really missed that palette. So I'm just telling you, you've seen me use this in another video. I didn't enjoy using it. It just didn't float my boat the way my old, and it is old, Hourglass did. And that's why when I go away this time, I'm taking this. I know it's not very glamorous. It's a bit beaten because it's gone everywhere with me. This has traveled the world with me in 2 years. Not really, but it has traveled. And it's just wonderful. I know it's a bit worse for wear, but then so am I. And you know, I do expect people to give me a second chance. So why shouldn't I give this one a second chance, or a 50-second chance, or whatever it is? So this is coming with me. Now, under the cold light of day, when I really looked at this today in preparation for this video, I realized that actually I have not only used this, but it's not quite as pristine as I kind of imagined it was. Every time I use it, I kind of think, oh, I've hardly used it. Actually, I think it's not that it's getting to the end of its life, but it's getting to the point where I feel I can justify falling in love with another Hourglass palette when they come out. This, in other words, I'm basically trying to justify it. But the fact remains that this is the gold standard for me of a blusher with a highlighter and a bit of bronzer in it. And honestly, this is no comparison. I just wanted to be honest and just tell you, because you have seen me on a previous video with that. This is still the gold standard. This is coming with me. The question is, should I take another highlighter with me? And I am, like a lot of people, totally in love with the Prada highlighter. Now this is the number 2. I took this away with me, and actually I did wear this, and that's, again, it made me think about the Hourglass palette, about how good it was, because this is absolutely as lovely as the Hourglass palette, and that's what kind of kept reminding me how good it was compared to the NARS. So I am still going to take this, even though I probably don't need to, given that I've got the Hourglass, but I do love this so much, and why not? You know, who's counting? Hopefully not the people weighing my luggage. Anyway, so I am definitely going to take that. Now, in terms of other cheek products, given that my blush needs are very well served by the Hourglass palette, I am still going to take some lovely blush sticks with me. Now, I'm not going to take the one that I thought. I was going to take the Charlotte Tilbury and one of the Dior in the toffee. I was going to take the toffee. However, when I was away, what I realised about the Charlotte Tilbury, as lovely as it is quite bright. So, to that end, I know I'm going to take the Dior Candy along with the Dior Toffee, because what the Candy does that the Charlotte Tilbury doesn't do, I feel as well. That's the Candy there. It's much sheerer. So because I wear these on top of a blusher already, just sort of the tops of the cheeks, it's a bit much if I use the Charlotte Tilbury, because there is more pigment, there is more opacity. I think what's nice about the Dior, and for once I'm not moaning about Dior's lack of pigment, actually in these the pigment is a little bit less, so it's just easier to use. You get a nice bit of sheen, but I'm not adding too much colour. And I know that's personal preference, you know, that's just to do with how I wear it. But given I'll be wearing bronzer and a little bit of blusher, I want this kind of, I want to put the kind of the juicy glow on top of the blushes that I'll enjoy from the Hourglass. So to that end, as I said, I'm going to take Candy and Toffee, because these are just really, really lovely. Also, I just want to say, I think the packaging is particularly lovely from Dior in these. I really do think so. And while the Charlotte Tilbury, it's fine, it's still with her aesthetic, you know, when you compare the two, I don't know, the Dior's got the edge. I know I'm not only about the packaging, I'm just kind of mentioning it because I've got them here on my desk, and it kind of, it's such an obvious kind of, comparison. So I'm taking these. Now, the other thing I did want to say is when I went away, I also took away my Victoria Beckham highlighting sticks. And you know what? I just kept reaching for the Prada. So I won't be taking these, whereas normally on holiday, these are ones I do take. I do quite like them. I'm not as mad on them as I thought I would be. They don't show up as well, I feel, with a tan. However, it's still a lovely product and it's very easy to use. However, I keep saying however, the Prada has just blown everything out of the water when it comes to a highlighter, just because it is so soft, so forgiving, wonderful on a mature skin, wonderful on a dry skin. I don't know how they've managed it. It doesn't settle into my lines. It doesn't. Or sort of sit on the dryness and kind of, emphasize it somehow. It's just wonderful. What a product. What a product. And so worth, the slightly higher price point. Totally, totally worth it. It's just an absolute delight. Just really quickly, 2 hair products that I will take with me, that I always take with me whenever I go away, along with my Dyson Airwrap and my K18 mask, which is essential for me when I'm doing my hair myself. I'm going to take the Flawless Finish hair removal little gadget thing, which just is fantastic. Great on moustache. More importantly for me, I've got this sort of very big mole that it's kind of like someone sprinkles fertilizer on it every hour and I don't notice, because it just sprouts hair. It's kind of unbelievable. So that's what I kind of zap it every morning with this, and sometimes I have to give it a quick little go early evening as well. It's extraordinary, really. It's like I've had kind of hair plugs put in. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so that's that. I always take that. Also, my Wow touching up thingy for the roots. This is excellent. It's really cheap. It's really nifty, really easy to have when I travel, and the brush thing is good. I know there are sprays, there's much more sophisticated things out there, but I have found this is pretty much goof proof, and I can't get it all over my shoes or my nose or anything else. So this works really well. I had my roots done earlier this afternoon, and I know that by the end of, not by the end of the week, but certainly within a week, I'll be seeing some grey sprouting through. Maybe I'm hairier than I think, I don't know. But that's when I will be using this. So I can't not have this on holiday, because even though my hair is freshly done, makes no difference. It's still, the grey still comes through and betrays me. So that's what I just wanted to tell you that really quickly. Now, on to lip products. I'm going to take 5, I know it seems excessive, lip liners, but there is a reason. So I'm going to take Pillow Talk Medium and Iconic Nude, all 3 by Charlotte Tilbury. And then I'm going to take this one, which is a Maybelline number 4, which is Out of Line. And I have to tell you, I really rate these lip liners. I know they're immensely popular, but this is going to go in my handbag. So if I've got a lip liner emergency, it's going to be this one. And I'm also going to take, because I really enjoyed wearing it in France, the new Huda liner, which is this one here. Now I've got it in the shade, I've only got one, and I've got it in the shade Soft Nude. Now I've also ordered Rosewood, that's coming tomorrow, and I'm going to take that away with me. Now I have heard people complaining about these sort of on social media, saying that they're difficult to use. I mean, I watched Huda and I kind of just followed her advice. So these have to be stored upside down, and that's fine. I mean, it's a bit of a pain in that in my makeup bag, it's kind of horizontal, but what I did when I was away is I sort of immediately sort of propped it up in a glass, and that's how it lived. It does mean you can't put it in your handbag. However, for me, this shade and this formula really lasts all day. I only use it as a lip liner, as advised by Huda. I do not fill my lips. That's not what it's designed for. Whereas with the Charlotte Tilbury, I will both line and fill my lips if I want something to really, really last all day. This isn't that product, but I think it's a really good product because it really lasts, and by the end of the day, it tends to only really come off properly and fully with my cleansing oil. I really rate it. I think it's worth the money, which is why I've ordered the Rosewood. So hopefully the Rosewood will perform as well. I really hope that is the case. I thought I was going to take these Dior butter, what are they called, lip butters, but I have to tell you, I have worn them pretty much consistently in the last kind of 10 days just because they were lying about around my desk and at work and so on. And the thing that I have noticed with these, as they are very nice, but they're absolutely not moisturising enough for somebody with dry lips. So these are not going away with me, and I'm a bit sort of upset really because they're quite expensive. I do like the shades, I like the texture, not good enough, really not good enough. So to that end, in terms of glosses, I'm only taking away the YSL in both Nude Lavalière and Mellow Mallow as well. They're the 2 shades I'm definitely going to take with me. I really love these, they're fantastic. And I'm also going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Plumpgasm in the Diamonds shade, which came out a couple of months ago, but I've also ordered, or rather reordered, the Pillow Talk version, not the medium dark, but the light to medium one. And again, that's coming at the same time as the Rosewood in the Huda, because I really like this formula. I know it's a bit of a bulky package, but the formula's lovely, super duper moisturising. My lips do not go dry, so that's definitely coming with me. I'm also taking 2 of the Givenchy Rose Perfectos. I'm taking 110 and 118. Now 118 was the first one that I bought, and it is the most lovely shade. Let me show you. It's a really kind of My Lips But Better kind of shade. And then I've only just bought, and only used a little bit actually, the 110 because I wanted something that was a bit more browny. So these are the 2 shades. That's 118 and that's 110. They're sort of equivalent shades. It's just that one's more browny, one's more pinky. But again, Your Lips But Better. And it's a lovely formula, nicely moisturising. It's not super moisturising, but my lips aren't super dry after using these repeatedly. So these are going to be absolutely fine. And then in terms of lipsticks, I'm really only taking 3. Doesn't sound like a lot, does it? I'm taking Glowing Gen by Charlotte Tilbury, which is just my kind of ride or die shade. I've got, I don't know how many I've gone through, maybe 6 of these. And actually with horror, I mean, I bought this at the beginning of the year and I haven't got very much left, you can see. So along with my Huda and my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk in this formula, I've ordered another refill of these, or not even a refill, it's actually, I think it's a whole one, because the refill was out of stock. I've probably been recommending it to everybody and now I can't buy it. But anyway, so this is this coming with me. As I said, I'm wearing it now. It's such an easy shade. I mean, it's just lovely. I love this shade. It's so easy to wear. You don't even need a lip liner. And you know, I like to wear a lip liner every single day, but if for whatever reason I've forgotten, it's still great. For me, it's just the perfect shade. But I'm also going to take Spirited Away, which is Lisa Eldridge, as something that's got a little bit more punch to it. If I may just show you the comparison between Glowing Gen and Spirited Away. So this is Glowing Gen over here, and this is Spirited Away. It's just got a little bit more sort of glossy sheerness to it. For some, you know, if I want something that's got a little bit more lift to it, but I think I've got pretty much all bases covered. And then finally, I am taking my most loved gloss from Prada. That was it was a very recent purchase. This is in Rosso, and it's that one here. So that's Rosso there. They're all in the same wheelhouse, aren't they? I'm not doing anything that's going to scare the horses or going to get me deported. I don't think. Well, hopefully not. Anyway, if you don't hear from me again, you'll know what's happened. But at least my lips will be lovely. That's very, very, very important. So that really is my complete makeup range. The only thing I haven't told you about is this Tinted setting spray is going with me, and it's probably going to go to the ends of the earth with me as well. An unbelievable price point and a wonderful, wonderful product. As I said, I've got really dry skin, and this is just, it feels hydrating. It's wonderful. Sets and softens my makeup. And you know what? I know it's chlorine proof and it's fine for swimming. I have not yet swum in it. However, I did go in a steam room with it. It's a long story. I honestly thought that I had taken my makeup off, but I had got sidetracked because I was chatting away with my husband. So I went into a steam room with, it was full makeup, but I only had, the eyeshadow that I had on was just a little bit of my, it was this one, hang on, let me show you. It was this kind of peachy shade that I just put on my eyelids, but I had mascara, I had I had everything. I'd sprayed this, and at the end of the day, I went into the steam room in the hotel with my husband, chat, and you know what? I came out of there and my makeup was pristine. So this survived the steam room and my incompetence, which is actually a greater challenge, let's be honest. One of the things that they talk about is the spray range of the nozzle, and I really appreciate this because my hair goes frizzy just by thinking about steam, and if I sort of just cover my hairline like that and spray it, it's absolutely fine. It doesn't sort of seem to do anything to the sort of the really little hairs here, because the nozzle makes it totally controllable as to where it goes. This means a lot to me. One of the reasons why I've been wedded to the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray is the spray is quite a small, quite a narrow sort of spray, but it can get a bit tiring kind of doing it, you know, several times with the old arthritic finger. This is basically an improvement. It really is, and it's such fantastic value. I'm blown away by this product. I am not really a setting spray kind of person, in the sense that I'm not somebody who will use a setting spray every single day. But you know what? I have been using this every single day because it's great, and it's also hydrating. It doesn't make me feel that I've kind of been, you know, frozen a bit. And other setting sprays in the past have done that to me. This is wonderful. If you haven't given it a go, I urge you to. They have 2 setting sprays. I didn't try the original. I'm just flagging it up because I remember when this was out of stock, people in error ordered the other one and were not as sort of impressed as they thought they would be, given the very good reviews on this. So just be aware that this is the one that you want is the waterproof one, but this is the Mask Fit waterproof setting spray. Honestly, I can't say enough good things. Between that and Danessa, I think these are the kind of the products this year that are just like, you know, just feel like they're groundbreaking products. Anyway, now let me just also tell you about the brushes that I'm going to take. Now I have got this little set that I bought last year from BK Beauty. There are some mini brushes in there, so they're sort of mini versions of her full size one. So you've got the 101, which I like to wear for foundation ordinarily. I probably won't be taking this with me because I don't really use it. I won't be using foundation at all. Even with the Charlotte Tilbury, I will just use a much softer brush that's probably going to look like something like this, as a sort of flat-headed brush, just to quickly get it on there. So this, for example, is the MAC 170S, but I also have the IT Cosmetics, so one of these is going to come with me. But what I wanted to say is the other brush that this kit comes with is a mini 107, which is just really good for blusher and for bronzer, so that's coming with me. And then these little mini eyeshadow brushes, which again, nice and fluffy, really sort of usable, really easy to use. So we've got the 203, the 207 and the 202, they're coming with me. And because this is me and I am a bit excessive, I'm also going to bring my Refa 05, which I really love. I really love this brush. It's so good. I actually used it this morning, which is why it's not clean. I clean my brushes every day, as I've said, so I will be cleaning this later. And the contour brush, remember that I mentioned the Charlotte Tilbury contour brush that I mentioned before. And then my concealer brush, which is the Hourglass concealer brush, which I really like. And then this number 21 by Refa, this flat brush. It's so fantastic. I bought it and I didn't realise quite how wonderful it was, and it's still out of stock. But I will be buying at least 2 when they come back into stock, because this is absolutely wonderful. Highly recommend it if you want to get into the inner corner and you've got deep set eyes like me. And then another fluffy brush, because this is the one that I really like, which is my Refa 14. And then these 2 tiny little brushes, this little one, the 03, which is kind of useful for lining and kind of getting into the inner corner if I just want a teeny tiny bit of colour. And then this, which is really wonderful, this is my Morphe M165 actually. Can you see how short and stubby and sort of flat the top is? Really easy to do just a cheeky little wing with all those lovely matte tones from the Natasha Denona palettes. So that's what I'm taking in terms of brushes. And I will also be taking, don't laugh, a bar of soap, a bar of Palmolive soap, because I wash my brushes every night and I have to use normal soap with them, because that's the thing that gets all the makeup out without having to use dish soap. Because if I use dish soap, firstly, I'd have to take a thing of fairy liquid with me, and honestly, that might be a step too far even for me. But also, I can't use that on my hands because my hands will then get eczematic, whereas with just a bar of Palmolive, I can wash my brushes to my heart's content and start afresh, and start afresh the next day with clean and fresh brushes. Am I a minimalist compared to you? Or do what I take seem really excessive? Let me know in the comments down below. And what are your ride or die vacation products that you absolutely have to take? There are some non-makeup essentials, but I didn't want to bore you with those. But let me know, is there something that you always have to take on holiday, whether it's makeup or whether it's anything else? I would love to hear. Do let me know. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.